One of the questions I get asked a lot is how to clean up really tiny little spots. And some of those could be tight spots, say an under gallery of a ring, or maybe you've got some solder that overflowed into another area or something like that. Well, that can be really tricky to find accessories that are going to fit into that spot. Well, today I'd like to introduce you to the Dipro Mini by Diprofil. Diprofil is a company based in Sweden, and they've been in the industry for a long time, and they've been in the jewelry industry for about the last 10 years. Their specialty is with the diamond tools and the reciprocating head, meaning that it goes back and forth and does not rotate. Dipro Mini comes with 3 variations, a 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter, and 1.5 millimeters. Now what that's talking about is the length of movement back and forth. So a 0.5 millimeter is going to go back and forth only 0.5 millimeter, whereas the millimeter is going to go back and forth 1 full millimeter. The 1.5 millimeter is pretty aggressive and really not used or suitable in the jewelry industry. Another thing that would not be suitable in the industry would be a side-to-side action. By having that back and forth with a more flat tool, you're able to really smooth things out nicely and quite efficiently. So let's take a look at some of the accessories that are meant for the Dipro Mini and some that you can also alter to make fit the Dipro Mini. So here I have a variety of tools. Okay, we've got the Dipro Mini itself, and you'll notice that I have 4 of them here, and there's actually more available than this, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But for now, let's concentrate on the accessories. Here I have a variety of accessories. These are my ceramic stones, which are all flat, and then I have a couple of others. I've got 2 plastic ones, and then I have 2 diamond ones. You'll notice that they all have flat surfaces, and then I also have 2 different types of holders. Now I need these holders so that I can hold the various accessories. Let's talk about the ones that are going to hold your ceramic stones first. So this kind of looks like a little split screw type of thing. So we've got our top, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip our ceramic stone into this. Now here is something that I figured out while testing this, is that if I put this in, it does not go all the way down. And that's because this particular stone is too thick for the slit that is in here. And I thought, well, maybe if I just stick it in the tool, it will pinch it and hold it tight enough, and then I can tighten up the little screw here, that tension screw, and it will hold everything. Did not work. So don't do what I did. Now I cannot just take the stone and just stick it here in the tool in that holder either, because my stone in this case is too wide. So one of the things that I've done is I've created like a little tang. Now this one got a little bit small, but that's okay, because what it does is it allows it to fit inside of this tool a little bit further. And now if I slip this into the Dipro Mini head itself, I can slide that in, and I can now tighten up the set screw, and it's going to tighten onto that little tang and hold everything nice and securely. Another option is to use just a thinner stone, and you can insert that into here. And the nice thing about that is that this is thinner in both directions. So it's not quite as thick and it's not as wide. And that will allow me to insert that into my piece. And it's going to go all the way down to the bottom of that tool. And then I can use the set stone or the set screw here and tighten that up and hold everything into place. And there's no wiggle here, so everything is secure here, and I'm ready to get to work. Now the other type of holder that we have is going to hold the round accessories. So you can see there's a hole inside of this. And then what I would do is take, in this case, I have one of these plastic pointed accessories. I can place that inside of this tool holder and then place it inside here, and again I can tighten that up as well. And now this will be held into place. So you have 2 options. Now I like to use the plastic ones for doing some polishing, and we'll look at that here in just a minute. I really like to use these diamond accessories for doing some more aggressive work. Okay, and the thing that's kind of cool about these, and they are very small as you can see, one side of this one has a diamond grit on it, and the other side is kind of plain. So I can actually super glue a little bit of sandpaper or some other abrasive onto this side and be able to use that in my piece or in my work. The thing I like about these is that it comes in two different shapes. So here we have the triangle shape and we also have the rectangle shape. This triangle shape is going to make it so I can really get into tight little areas, say in between prongs or inside the crown, or even like into the under gallery here as well. So why would we even need a tool like this that just reciprocates back and forth? Whether we're using a burr or any other kind of abrasive accessory, sometimes it can grab and spin you around and then damage other areas that might already be polished or didn't need to have any kind of touch up. Or sometimes you end up creating little grooves where that rotating action is happening. By having a nice flat surface that goes back and forth, I'm able to keep corners really sharp. I'm able to smooth out a larger area all at once. I'm in much better control. So let's talk a little bit about the options that you have here. The first two are hooked up to a Marathon power hand. And so what you would do is you would just take this hand piece right here and you can place it onto the power hand piece. This is a high torque motor, and then you can control it with your control box. So I've got two of them here, one that is a 0.5 millimeter, one that is 1 millimeter. Again, that's that forward and back length. Then I also have two here that fit on a Flexshaft. So we have a number of options. There's one more option as well, and that would be an NSK head. And I don't have that one because in my studio I have that Marathon and I didn't need the NSK. So this is the Dipro Mini for the Flexshaft. I hook mine up to an LX motor, 5,000 RPM high torque. So one is 1 millimeter, one is 0.5 millimeter as far as the movement goes. And you're actually going to see that on this one a little bit easier. So what I like to do is get my Flexshaft just spinning just a little bit so that it seats. I'll push it in, and then I'm going to take this knob right here and screw it all the way up, and that's going to lock everything nice and tight into place. And then from there, now I can begin to use this. Now for me, I do notice that it has a little bit more wobble in the Flexshaft, but now you can actually see kind of that forward and back movement here at the tip. So again, I would just insert my accessories into this, tighten up that set screw, and now we're ready to get to work on our pieces. Here I have a ring that has been cast. Now this ring has a lot of tight areas that need to be cleaned up. Say right here, right next to this design here on the shoulder of this. Also around the head itself, here we've got kind of this little box that's right here. Well, these all have grow lines on them, and so what I need to do is smooth those out. And here we can see quite a few of the grow lines as well. So I can use these ceramic stones, or if I want to be more aggressive, you can also use some of the diamond bits. But let's say we want to do it with the ceramic stone. What I've done is I've inserted it into the little brass holder, and I've also created a little tapered edge here that's going to expose the different ceramic fibers, and that's how we get to the abrasive part of the ceramic stones. Those fibers go all the way up, and so we want to just use that little tapered edge. I'm going to turn this on. Now it's important that we do not run this, and this is running and you can barely see it, and I don't even know that that shows up in the video. It just shows more like a vibration. But what we can do now is use this to come in here and remove some of these grow lines. Now, typically I would actually not do that right here on this large part of the band, because a file is going to get to that a lot better. But right up next to this little line or this ridge right here where that design starts, this would be ideal for me to use this tool, because I can get right into it and I don't have to worry about damaging any of that design element at all. So I can come in and just gently sand that away. Now they do have more aggressive stones, and that would take this down as far as the time goes. So I could continue to do that. Then this is where I really like this tool, because I can come up here on the shoulder of this and I can work right here along the edge of this that I would not be able to get to easily with a file. And then the thing that's lovely about this is that it keeps these edges nice, clean, and sharp, and it just smooths everything out. And I can hit it from multiple directions. And then I can also come up here along my setting, my crown, and I can also do the same type of thing right here and really just clean this up. And there's not much that I have to do, because again, it's reciprocating back and forth and doing that work for me. Now the other thing that I like to do too, especially if I have a ring that's got grow lines on the prongs or something like that, a lot of times my rings will have kind of come to a point. They're not always round, they come to a point. And so I can use this to flatten out those sides, keep that point sharp inside there. And then I'm about ready to go with the next steps. So again, you would have to spend a little bit of time here, but this makes it so much easier to get into these tight little spots, but we're not able to get into easily with other accessories. Say I want to be a little bit more aggressive with this, then what I'm going to do is swap out the accessories. I'm going to pop in the holder for the diamond bits and just insert that diamond bit into there. This one is a little tighter fit. And tighten up that set screw to hold it into place. Don't want to tighten that too much. And now, again, I can turn this on, and once again, I can get into these areas a little more aggressively even, because this one is a diamond. You can buy different grits of the diamond bits, so you can be quite aggressive all the way through, almost a pre-polish when paired with the ceramic stones. Now another area that I really like to use these is sometimes when I have a soldered element, such as these jump rings. Like the soldering might not have gone as cleanly as I would have liked. Maybe we have a little excess solder, so I can come in and easily remove that. I can shape anything that needs to be shaped as well. And again, I have multiple styles of accessories, flat, pointed, whatever. And that just makes really quick work of the cleanup. And I don't have to do much, because again, it is already doing that reciprocating action for me. So I just keep moving it along. One more thing. Now, how many times have you gone along and you accidentally scratch a stone? So one of the things I can do is I can use an abrasive paste. Now this one's only 3 microns, so it's not as aggressive as some could be, but it's a little more aggressive than others. So what I'm going to do is just get a little bit out here, and then I'm going to wipe it onto the plastic accessory. I'm going to kind of smush it in. I'm going to recap that. And now I have a little bit of a scratch here on the back of my stone. All right, and I'm going to come in, and you can use this to kind of polish it out a little bit. Now, depending on how deep your scratch is, how soft your stone is, this might take a minute to do. But again, all I have to do is just kind of rub that compound around. It's doing that back and forth movement. So there's not a whole lot that I have to do other than just keep working through that little scratched area. There you can see that we're definitely getting a lot better and that scratch is starting to go away. In addition to that, I can also bring that into an area where I have already maybe removed some of the, here I've removed those grow lines, and I can use this as a polish here as well. Again, if it's a larger area, this is not my go-to. But for like those little tiny areas that I need to get into, say up here along the shoulders, then that gives me a great way to just get in there and keep everything nice and squared, nice and sharp. So there you have it. That is the Dipro Mini and a few of the accessories that go along with this. Now you can check out all of the different offerings through guesswine.com and see what they have there. It is not an inexpensive tool. It is definitely more of a precision tool. You're going to want to use this with a high torque machine that does not go high speed. So you're going to want to either have a limiter or a speed control, or you want to have a machine that does not go above 10,000 RPM. So in this case, the Marathon Power Hand is going to be a great one. It's high torque and it allows you to control that speed. For the NSK, you might want to consider having a reducer installed on your handpiece. Keep in mind that will make it even longer and quite heavy. And for the Flexshaft, I would personally use this with the Fortum LX motor, as it only goes to 5,000 RPM and is also a high torque machine. As always, if you have questions, please drop those down in the comment section and we'll be sure to answer those and get back to you. If you like the videos, be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and mark that you want all notifications so you don't miss any of the other tool reviews coming up soon.